We spend a lot of time developing our professions, but we don't spend time developing ourselves. Look, as a leader, as a professional, you have to grow. You have to grow yourself. And to be able to grow yourself, you need to know yourself. A lot of us are not achieving the maximum we can achieve because we have not invested in our personal growth. So we are bringing you this special studies based on John C. Maxwell's book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. And we're going to just spend time with you and help you go through the principles that you need to be able to grow your person, to become a better person. Because if you become a better person, you become a better leader, you become a better father, you become a better professional. Do not miss this opportunity, as the masterclass is going to be very practical and discussional. It is going to be a limited number of people. So please register now to be part of the program.
Hello, dear leader. My name is Samuel Eyim, Chief Leadership Coach at the Center for Transformational Leadership in Africa, CTL Africa. And I have an important invitation for you. Why are some nations developed and thriving, while others are underdeveloped and struggling? Why are some businesses flourishing and others languishing? Why are some churches growing and others dying? These are important questions for leaders. So are you a leader? At what level are you leading? What impact are you making? What is your understanding and concept of leadership? The way you think about leadership is the way you do leadership. And as John Maxwell says, everything rises and falls on leadership. Leadership is the cause, all others are the effect. So, at the Center for Transformational Leadership, we've created this program to help you transform your understanding of leadership. This program is going to be based on John C. Maxwell's book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. As a John C. Maxwell certified coach, I'm going to walk you through these laws, and we're going to give you exercises and activities around these laws to help install a new transforming concept of leadership for you. This will change the way you do leadership completely. So I invite you to check our website and our social media pages and to register for the Leadership Mindset and Asset program. This program is on 2 levels. The first level is understanding the laws of leadership, where we are going to walk you through the laws of leadership in 3 to 5 days. And this will give you the foundations of leadership. The second level is walking the laws of leadership. Here, we take you through a 15-week journey through the laws of leadership. Every week, you will have opportunity to study one law, apply the law throughout the week, meditate upon it, do the exercises, and regroup with other like-minded people who are learning the laws of leadership, exchange ideas, and share your lessons. So do not miss this opportunity. Register now for the Leadership Mindset and Asset program.
Hello, 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 hello. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Leadership Platform, my favorite part of the week, Saturday evenings, where I have the pleasure to host very important people, achievers, great leaders, people who are changing the world in their own ways and who have something to share so we can all learn. And I'm excited because this is the time of the week when I get to meet all of you amazing, amazing, amazing people who are committed to your growth. So you are very, very welcome. Today, we are going to have one of the sessions where we bring to you the story of a great entrepreneur. And our objective on this is to encourage all of you who are interested in business and being entrepreneurs so that you can also learn from these experiences that others are sharing. So before we go into it, I encourage you, introduce yourself. Let's know where you are coming from or you're joining from. Let us know so we can announce you to the world. That is our pleasure to let the whole world know that you are also on the leadership platform. So go ahead. Number two, share this link for with all your contacts, your friends, your colleagues, your bosses, your subordinates. Let them connect to the leadership platform on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and YouTube. Subscribe to our channels and like our pages so that people would know what's going on here. So go ahead and let's know where you're coming from so that we can announce you to the world. We know that many of you who connect some most of the time don't introduce yourself, but we know you are there. It is our pleasure if you would introduce yourself. So we have here this evening the whole team. Kofi is here, Richmond is here, Sarah is here, Vivian is here. Who else is there? Everybody, they are here at the background trying to bring this to you, and we thank all of them. I see William Dafoe, a regular on the call. William, thank you so much connecting from Tema. I have Gerard Foucault. Gerard is here from Accra, and he's happy to be here. Mami Ama is here. Eniwa is here. He says, good evening. I have, all right, Mami is from Accra. I have Aqua, God with God with us. Hey, this name, man. I hope I pronounce it well. Aqua, God with us. Or God is with us, or something like that. God with us. All right. So Aqua God with us is here. Good evening. He says, I'm Emmanuel Aqua from Ghana. All right. But I see God with us. Then Isahe is here from Sakumono. Hetty is here from University of Ghana. He's happy to be here. All right. So please go ahead, introduce yourself, and we'll be very happy to announce you. By this moment, it is my pleasure to bring onto the stage our speaker for this evening, an amazing personality, a great leader, a great entrepreneur who is going to speak to us. And he's going to do a short presentation, and then we're going to have a chat with him. So we're going to go into his life a bit more. So I won't say too much about him at this point. All I will say is that our speaker this evening is a recipient of several awards. A few of them: Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana President's Special Award 2015, Brand Discovery Award 2013 at the Maiden SME Ghana Awards, the Most Promising Entrepreneur Award at the 4th UT Bank Entrepreneurs Award 2014, Outstanding Product Award by African Leadership Magazine, Young Entrepreneur of the Year 2012 by Waves International, Outstanding Entrepreneur Special Award by Diageo Guinness Ghana Limited, um, Leather and Footwear Product of the Year 2013 by Entrepreneurs Foundation of Ghana, Young Entrepreneur Enterprise Company of the Year 2013 by Association of Ghana Industries, Best Leather Company of the Year 2013 by AGI, and Young Entrepreneur of the Year 2011 by Global Professional Achievers. Now, these are just a few of them. Plenty, plenty, plenty. And he wants you to know that in his spare time, he loves to read, he watches football, and he is an ardent fan of AC Milan. Our speaker is married with 3 children. That's all I want to say for now, and invite to the stage my good friend, great inspiration, Mr. Tony Senaya, who is the founder and entrepreneur of Horseman Shoes. Tony, you are very welcome to the leadership platform. It is a great, great, great pleasure to have you because you are an inspiration not only to young people, not only to Ghanaians, but to everybody in Africa and in young people across the world and to a lot of entrepreneurs. So we are privileged to have you to share your story with us and to give inspiration to others. So you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yim, and a very good evening to you and your team, and good evening to all the people joining us from across the world. And I'm very grateful and honored to be on your platform. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. It is our honor and privilege. So, we know you're going to give us a short presentation, but before we go into that, just a few quick words. Now, your name is Tony Senaya.
Yes,
Tony
yes,
sounds like Nigerian or something like
Nigerian.
that. Are you Nigerian, Ghanaian, Togolese, African? Which one?
I'm Ghanaian. I'm Ghanaian. My dad is from Amfuenga in the Volta region,
Okay.
and my mom is from Abumusu, Achim in the eastern region. And I
Okay.
grew up in Kumasi.
Hey, my friend, proper Ghanaian. You cross all the regions that have produced presidents in Ghana. So, is that a sign that we have a president in the making?
Well, if it is the wish of God, who am I to say no?
All right, great. We will pray for that because we need great entrepreneurs like you to be on the platform. All right. So tell us a bit more. I know you will share a bit more, but tell us about your family background.
Okay.
Where did you grow up? How did you grow up? And so on.
All right. So my name is Tony Senaya. I was born in Kumasi. I had my primary and secondary education in Kumasi. I attended Prempeh College, completed in 2001. After that, I came to the University of Ghana where I read sociology and philosophy. And I spent most of my time with my parents in Kumasi, and I have four other siblings. My childhood was very exciting because I had a father who wasn't extremely strict, so we had a bit of free time to go and roam around. I would go to school on Fridays. We close at 12. So
Hmm.
after school, I'll go and play football and come home around 6, 7 p.m. But at a point in time, if I overindulge, my dad will put everything together and remind me that last time when we sent you, you didn't come back home early. You went to school, you didn't come back home early. You did this, and then give you one whooping to cover all your sins, you know. But yes, but he was a very kind person, very gentle, and a very peaceful person. So and then in 2003, I came to the University of Ghana, where along the line, I participated actively in student leadership. So in 2006, I became my hall president, Mensa Sabah Hall, and later became the SRC
Hey,
president of the University of Ghana.
Viking, that's my hall too.
Oh,
So we
okay,
have.
awesome, Viking. Nice to meet you again, Mr. Yi. Yeah, so on Legon campus, I was very active rather in student activism. So I didn't have a lot of time to enjoy what they call the student life, because if you want to be a student politician, you have to live a certain life, always tuck in your shirt, be at, be looking serious. You can't be seen going to bush canteen and drinking with the
Hey,
boys.
Charlie, you people,
Yeah,
you.
so university was a big deal in terms of shaping my leadership qualities. And I
Hmm,
must say that I look back and I realized that it was a very great opportunity, and I was really honored to tour that path.
great, great. And you also became SRC president.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. I said some people, once they finish SRC president, they go straight into parliament and became ministers. How come you became a shoemaker, a shoe
Well,
shine?
a lot of my contemporaries are now very active in the various political parties, and like you said, that was the natural progression. Once you finish school and at that high level of student leadership, you either join MPP or NDC, become a baby with a sharp teeth for
Sharp
starters,
teeth.
and then rise through the ranks. For me, I just found an opportunity in shoemaking. So I was doing my national service when that opportunity came. I lived in a house where a man had a shop. So after work, after service, I'll go and sit with him and have conversations about it, about shoemaking. He would ask me to be picking tools for him. When my service was just about ending, I ordered a pair of shoes, and my colleagues at work liked it. In fact, they wondered how a national service personnel could afford such a good looking shoe, but I told them it was Ghana made. Those who knew where I lived will come through to order a pair from the man. And then when my service was about ending, I had a friend at PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers. He ordered a pair, took it to work, and his colleagues liked it. So they started calling me, placing orders. Then it dawned on me that, oh, okay, this is an opportunity that I can capitalize on. And it didn't matter to the young Ghanaian where the shoes were coming from, provided they were of top quality. So I started taking orders before I would complete my national service. By the time I officially completed my national service, I had had an idea that this is what I wanted to do. So I entered into shoemaking by stumbling upon an opportunity, and then I capitalized on it. And around that time, I wasn't so sure about politics. I had friends inviting me around the 2008 elections to come and participate, but I wasn't sure where to align. So I'm sure that is the point where I missed the initial bus to be actively engaged in politics. But I look back and I don't have any regrets at all.
Good, good, good. All right. So, well, I mean, those are just the teasers for now. You had a short presentation. Do you want to share it now? And then
Well,
we'll come back.
we
Oh,
have touched on
a few things.
a few things, so I think if we can continue the conversation this way, that would be fine.
That'd be great. Okay. So that's very, very good. Thank you so much. So as it were, you did not set out when you were born to become a shoemaker. When you were growing up, what did you want to become?
All right. Apart from the fanciful career dreams that we had as kids, by the time I was leaving the university, I had a clear idea of what I wanted to become. 2007, when I finished Legon, it was the period where a lot of banks were coming into the system. So it was the craze to be employed by the banks. They were setting up desks at the university campuses, conducting aptitude tests and all that. but I was setting in my mind I didn't want to work in the bank. I had always wanted to work with an NGO because I love people development. So after school, I applied to a few of the international NGOs, including a few schools, because I also loved to teach. I just want the human interaction. So for me, I knew I wanted to work with an NGO. So when the shoes idea came, again, it fed into my idea of building a huge vocational educational center to train people with vocation. So when I was doing my service, I was once driving through town, and a guy approached my car. I had my school pendant, a man for in it. So he said, "Oh, he used to live at Aduato. Aduato is a suburb just behind Prempeh College." So I asked him, say, now you are from Kumasi, what are you doing in Accra? Then he told me that he learned how to sew, he learned tailoring. But after weaning himself off the apprenticeship system, he didn't have money to set up. So he has come to Accra to hawk in the streets, gather money, and go and set up his small tailoring shop in Kumasi. So there again, it dawned on me that there are a lot of them out there. People who have the desire to learn the skills, but they don't have the capital. So one day, I would put together a very befitting vocational training institute or set up a factory where I would employ all these people. So that is where the idea came from. And indeed, before the shoemaking, I had wanted to go into tailoring because I will go to Kantamanto, go and buy shirts and trousers. I'll have time, go and look for a tailor to alterate it for me to be fitting. But my friends who were working in the banks didn't have time. So anytime we met at functions, they will ask me, "Oh, where did you get this?" So I realized that they didn't have time. So I'll get tailors, go to their offices, tailor measure them and sew for them. That was the idea. And then the shoe came in from nowhere. So I just latched onto the shoes and ran with it.
Wow. Wow. So did you have to go and learn the shoes, the making of the shoe from this guy? Where did he himself learn the shoes making from?
He was a bit of a traveler. I'm sure he had the basis from Ghana, and then he went to Cote d'Ivoire and then Switzerland. So Switzerland, he told me the tales of Abuchi, where things didn't go well for him. So the small money that he had, he bought machines and then came to Ghana. So whilst I was at this shop, I picked the basics. And what I did was also to research more and watch YouTube videos. So if I see any intricate or complicated designs, I come and ask him, Master, will you bet me? Master, can you do this? Then you say, wait, this is very simple. So indeed, my first shoe that I bought from him, it was a design that I took from the internet, and then I showed it to him. So by the time the idea came, I knew the basics of making the shoes, but I wasn't well skilled enough. So when I put together a team of shoemakers in Kumasi and I designed for them, but because I understood the basics, I work hand in hand with them. So yes, now I can make a very good shoe, but it's not a shoe that I'll put on the shelf in my shop because it will not be that the stitching wouldn't be that perfect.
So basically, you you know to make the shoe, but you have a team that makes the shoes. How many people do you have making shoes for you?
Under my roof, I have eight shoemakers, and I have two admin staff. But then again, I also work with independent shoemakers in Kumasi, people who are skilled, but they wouldn't want to come and work under your shade. They want to sit in their small corner and make and pride themselves that they are also master craftsmen. So I have about four people, and then I also have another team that does school sandals for me. Those are about six people. So indirectly, I work with 14 people, and then under my shed, I work with 8 people.
Okay. All right. So this is very interesting. So tell us, from the time that you did that the first shoe to today, how many shoes have you produced?
So we are 13 years. Ten, when we turned 10, we did the math. We had done about 24,000 pairs of shoes. About 24,000 pairs of shoes. from 2010 to 2020. But 2020, we couldn't make a lot of noise because of Corona. And I look back and I felt that we had not done enough, but my team thought otherwise. So by the time that I was convinced that maybe we needed to do a full blown 10 years anniversary, the year had passed, and I was okay with it.
Mm, mm. Wow. Good, good, good. So now tell us a bit about the shoemaking industry in Ghana, and where does Horseman fit in terms of competition, who makes shoes, where do shoes come from, and so on.
Okay, so the shoemaking in Ghana is largely artisanal. By artisanal, I mean that we don't have it, we don't produce it on large scale. We have individuals who are doing it, what I'll call tabletops. They have learned the vocation, and then they are trying to make a business out of it. So they sit in their corner shops in their homes to produce shoes. Largely, all the shoemakers in Ghana put together, I'm not sure we would come up to 10% of the shoes of the shoe market in Ghana. So the shoes come in largely from China and now Turkey, and also the second hand shoes come from Europe, England, Italy, and the US. So it is very, very, very undefined. It is still a virgin territory for Ghanaian shoemakers. It is largely undefined. We have all of us are doing bits and pieces, bits and pieces. So competition largely is against the foreign imported shoes. And I've I've heard people say that government should ban importation of shoes. But if government bans importation of shoes, we don't even have the local capacity to feed the market. So not until there's a deliberate attempt to build capacity, then gradually we cut our importation. But as it stands now, we are all doing bits and pieces. There is nothing there's not a concerted effort or a force, to produce enough to feed the Ghanaian market.
Do you know how much foreign exchange we used to spend to buy this? Any idea? This is
No,
millions,
no. Yeah,
millions of.
it's a lot of money, a lot of money.
All right. So that's we'll continue the chat. I'm checking out with Kofi. I don't know if Kofi is there. We had a short video,
Okay.
and we wanted of Horseman that we wanted to show, but I think Kofi is not currently on. So we'll continue with the discussion until he's available. We wanted to show your video, but this is getting interesting. So apart from the people who make the shoes for you, I mean, how many more people do you employ?
So the value chain is, so we work with people who do packaging for us. So the packaging, we have our paper bags, we have a seamstress who sews our sling bags for us. We have an accountant who is not in-house, but we contract him on monthly basis. We have an auditor. We have a social media guy, and then I have two admin staff who are stationed in our offices, and then we have other contractors in Kumasi. As and when I get large orders, there are people that I fall on. So yes, around 22 people.
Wow. So you are solving helping Nanado solve the unemployment problem a bit instead of joining the Unemployed Graduate Association. Thank you so much for helping Ghana in this respect. Now, tell me, how do you market and sell your goods?
Okay, so we use a number of platforms, but traditionally we have relied heavily on social media, because social media came just around when we started, and at that point we didn't even have money for what they call above the line advertising, doing the radio and the TV adverts. So we use social media a lot. We also use influencer marketing. Influencer marketing is when renowned and celebrities patronize your product, they share it on their social media platforms and to their followers. And we have also thrived a lot on word of mouth. And I think that that is the best form of marketing, because
Mm.
for right from day one, we focused on quality. We took feedback seriously to understand what the customers wanted, and around that time too, the perception of made in Ghana wasn't that. I mean, there was a negative perception about made in Ghana. So when we broke that perception, we had ambassadors who took our message far. I remember at a point I went to a guy and I said the shoes were made in Ghana. He raised it to the light, wanting to find a fault. And we had to do a lot to overcome that challenge. So when people realize that okay, Horseman is different, at a point we're even the standard of made in Ghana product. So yes, so we have used social media, influencer marketing, and word of mouth.
Great. So, do you have like shops that you supply to, or you just supply to individual purchases?
So we have a shop outlet at Accra, Kukumlimli, and we are also heavily on e-commerce. So we have a website, horsemanshoes.com. And we tried a franchise system in 2021, 2018, 2019. But along the line, it broke down. So we had shop dotted at Dansuman, Medina, and Domipila too. But the partnership didn't travel far as expected. And
Hmm.
but outside Ghana too, we are in South Sudan, Juba, and Freetown, Sierra Leone.
How come South Sudan and Freetown? These are
Okay, so
war-torn countries. Why didn't you go to Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, where they have plenty money?
well, so
How
the
did it
Cote,
happen?
the Cote d'Ivoire conversation is in the pipeline. By the end of the year, we hope to have finished discussion with a partner or a distributor there. South Sudan, because I had a friend who started something with me in Lusaka. He was based in Lusaka, but he so much believed in the horseman dream, such that when he went to South Sudan, he didn't want to leave. He didn't want the dream to die in Lusaka. So he carried us along to Juba, where through us, he also materialized his vision of um, opening shops across Africa. So South Sudan is his first shop. By the end of the year, he will be in Accra and Nairobi. Freetown, the guy saw me on social media. I think he followed our story, read the reviews, and was very inspired about the quality of product that were being made in Ghana. So we started a conversation in 2021, but he wasn't ready. This year, out of nowhere, I was there and he told me that he was ready to buy his first 50 pairs. So we quickly put it together and shipped it to him.
Wow.
And we have not aggressively sought opportunities in other African markets because of our capacity challenges. Because we believe that once we solve the capacity and we take care of the Ghanaian market, automatically the international market will take care of itself. But
Hmm.
apart from that, we have individuals in other African countries who order from us. But the challenge there is the logistics. Sometimes
Hmm.
a person buys a pair of shoes, say 2 or 3 pairs, less than 1,000 or say 1,000, but shipping is the cost of shipping is as much as the amount of the cost of the shoes. So those
Yeah.
are the challenges that we are trying to find ways to solve.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. That's very interesting. I'm sure that people who are listening are picking a few things. No, so since you talk about that challenge, let's go back to some of the challenges, because one of the big things that a lot of people who want to start a business talk about is lack of capital. We don't have money. If I had money, I would have done this. Now, obviously, you are a rich man's son, because even in school, you were driving cars with Prempeh signs inside. But tell me, how did you start? How did you get a capital? How much did you start with? and and how much have you invested into it? Tell us a bit about the financial side.
Yes, so yes, capital to start a business anywhere in the world is difficult. But businesses find a solution to it by starting small.
Mm,
So like I intimated from the beginning, I started small. I was buying from this man. Then this man
mhm,
will produce 5 pairs for me. I didn't even have money, so I'll pay for three, go and sell, and come and give him his balance. And I'll order for seven, pay for four, go and sell and come and give him his balance. So there, you use your relationship and integrity.
mm,
Because I didn't have money to pay for the 7 pairs. Later, we went to 20 pairs. But the man had come to believe that if I tell him that, give me 20 pairs, let me give you 10, let me go and sell and come back and pay, he believed in me. So I used that principle for I think 6 months until I set up my own workshop. Setting up my own workshop, I sought help. I sought help from my dad and my sister. And again, one way of one way of funding your business, they say family and friends, F and
mhm,
F. But
mhm.
now I don't know if you know they have added another F, fools.
Which
Yeah,
one?
family, friends, and fools.
Who are the
So
fools?
those who those who don't know you,
Mm-hmm.
but you are
They
able to
still give you
convince them.
money.
Yes, you're able to convince them, and they give you money. You know,
Mm,
my understanding over the years has been that if you start a business and you cannot convince the people around you to invest in you, who else can you convince? Because nobody knows you, Mr. Yim. A stranger
mm,
cannot walk into your office and say, Mr. Yim, I have this grand idea. Give me 10,000 cities. I will turn it around. No, unless you know the person. So that is how I
mm,
raised money. 2010, when I started, I had a huge order to produce school sandals for a lot of secondary schools. I didn't have money. I was in Kumasi. I looked through my phone and called my friends to lend me money on phone. Around that time, we didn't even have WhatsApp. On phone and email, we just had a simple agreement. We didn't sign. Give me 10,000, I'll give you this interest. Oh, I was sure we negotiated. They just transferred the money into my account. So I also relied on my network. And these
mm,
are guys who had known me from school, and I'm sure they could vouch for my integrity and
mm-hmm,
take my word for whatever that I told them. So that is
mm-hmm,
one way of raising money. You don't necessarily have to have money, but rely on your network, and you have to be a good example so
mm-hmm,
that people can vouch for you.
mm-hmm,
And another way, what even this same school sandals, I didn't know the suppliers. I made people who knew some of the big suppliers in Kumasi then go to speak to them that, oh, this is my nephew, this is my grandson. He wants leather on credit. I can vouch for him. He will come and pay. So it's a number of things to raise capital. But
mm-hmm,
when people start and things don't go well, then it turns them into I don't want to say liars, but they don't stick to agreements. They don't
mm-hmm,
answer calls. Then you are digging a hole for yourself.
mm-hmm,
So it is one thing that I learned. All the people that I owed, anytime they called me, I answered. Unless I was sitting in Trotro where I couldn't discuss a car. But as soon as I got down, I will call and say, look, the schools have not paid me. So I don't mind coming back to you so we renegotiate the terms of payment. At a
mm-hmm,
point, people believe that yes, I was really in a deep hole. So they forgave the interest and focused on the principal. So as soon as I received a small payment from the school, I paid whoever was payment was due or was urgent. So this is how I have raised money over the years. Um, in terms of going for a facility, when you are young, when you don't have any track record, no bank would want to invest in you. So what I tell young people when they start is keep records, even if it is your one man business, a business that you run from your room. Just keep records. You may never know. Anytime that the time is up that you need support, people want to look at your books. You don't have to make profits. Just keep the record. Just develop the habit of keeping records and do it slowly. And one thing that I've also realized, Mr. Yim, is that people want to be successful very, very quick, but it doesn't work like that. You have to work You have to, if you want to run the tracks, they say you have to walk the track first. Take your time. Most of the times when we get into business, we don't go into business because we have the know-how. It is because we have the passion. But before we can turn the business around, we must take time to learn about the business. And you learn about it by doing, by failing. You do small, you fail small, you learn about it. People wrote business plans for me, and they said I needed 147,000 and some change. Me, I didn't understand it. Anytime I met somebody, oh, I need 100,000 for a 147,000, da, 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 da. Because someone wrote the business for me, at that time, if you had given the money, I would have squandered it. I would have misappropriated it. Today, when you want to bring me money, I need the money, all right, but I understand my business. I know where the challenges are. So I can tell you, if you give me the money, I'll do X, Y, Z with it. Oh, no, I don't need the money now. I rather need technical support. So we should take time to learn about the industry so that when you are waking up from your sleep, you can say anything, everything about your business. We shouldn't rush necessarily chasing the money to come and invest in the business when we don't understand the terrain that we are in.
Wow. I'm learning so much, so much, so much here. The importance of integrity if you're going to make it. And in terms of finances, you don't have to have all the money. In fact,
No,
you don't even have to have money. You can just go and negotiate. But if you have integrity, you'll be able to do it. I also like this idea of using your network, your close family. I like it. If your close friends will not give you money, why should somebody give you money?
exactly.
So that is very important. And I believe people are learning. Please, guys, share. I'm sorry, share your learnings that you're learning. I'm learning a lot. Start small. You can't run the track if you can't walk it. So walk the track first. Um, Credit, be careful with that. Keep records, very, very important at the beginning. Keep records, learn about your industry. That is, I mean, there's a lot. I've taken a lot of notes already. Now, tell me, I mean, they tell us that when 100 businesses start, 99, 95 of them will collapse in
Feel.
3 years. I mean, how were you able to survive that, jinx of, businesses collapse? Tell us a bit about some of the difficulties, the challenges you've mentioned. Sometimes you're not paid, but let us in a bit into some of the challenges that you go through, because now that you are a successful business person, everybody is thinking that maybe you're a witch, or maybe you're just lucky. Maybe you're just lucky, and oh, don't mind he because he's lucky. And so tell us so that we can learn a bit from what are some of the pitfalls you've gone through, and how did you overcome them, or maybe you didn't fall into anything.
Well, I'm sure no business in Ghana can escape the challenges, So for me in my industry, number one challenge when I started was, like I have said before, was the perception of made in Ghana could be inferior. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it broke my spirit that you've done a shoe, it's looking nice to you, a customer reject it. But I took the feedback seriously. I didn't focus on how the feedback was delivered. I learned to take the message, So like they would tell me, my shoe is hard. So I'll go to the boutique, go and feel the shoe. So at a point, I even had to buy a boutique shoe and take it to my shop. And I realized that it was soft padded. They put foam in it. So I told my guys, Jack, can we put foam in it? They told me to come at an extra cost. So we increased the shoe. The customers didn't complain. So I took feedback very seriously, you know. And I also got help along the line. Have a teachable spirit, because you are not an expert in the area. You are just flowing your passion or your hobby. So talk to people who are willing to help you. So I signed up onto an accelerator program around 2014, 4 years after my journey. And they helped me streamline my business, taught me corporate governance and all that. So I tell young people, seek help. you can't do it all by yourself. And have resilient spirit. Resilient spirit comes when you have a higher motivation than money. If you go into business with the sole aim of making money, 3 years, 4 years, you will quit because the money wouldn't come. So something else should give you that motivation. For me, the joy was providing food for the guys I was working with. And later, when I started selling within my circle of friends, and later when I found out that people I don't know, I meet people at functions and they are wearing my shoe, they don't even know me. It also gave me joy that I started something like joke, and it is catching on. So I told myself that no, there's no turning back. And I also have a responsibility, a charge to keep to the guys that I have asked them to join me on my ship. You know, have passion and be love the people that you work with. See them as your colleagues. Treat people well. Love them genuinely. So the guys, these are their highest form of education is GHS, and this is a university graduate working with them. So I learned how to manage them, not to lord myself over them. I spoke their language. I did the things that they did. We argue. I ate with them. And when we are having events in Accra, I bring them to come and see the kind of people that we make the shoes for. So it also encouraged them that, oh, okay, then this guy is serious. So take them on your journey. Don't treat them like any other people. Yes. So these are some of my learnings that have brought me far. And also I also relied on my relationships. Anytime that I had an issue, I looked through who can help me. And people are, like I said, people are willing to help, not necessarily for money, because they understand your journey. So I have friends at PwC who would put together my accounting for me. I had PR friends who I would go to and say, look, I don't have money for it, but I want to write a small article. But when you are okay, you can pay them by giving them a complimentary pair of shoes, just to also tell them that you appreciate what they do. So these are the little things that I did to navigate the waters. But most importantly, have a very tough skin, because it is a very difficult journey, and it's a lonely journey. There are times that I will sit down and cry and tell myself that I won't do this again, because the artisans will stress you. You have a deadline to meet. For them, they don't care. You are expecting shoes today. You will call them and they will tell you, oh, me papa be a no offer intimi ye. They don't care. So I told my dad that, Daddy, if I die young, ask Thomas. Thomas was one of the guy I used to work with. So it's a difficult journey. So later, gradually, I sold the vision to them by bringing them to events, letting them meet ministers who attended our events. And when the president mentioned us, I had the opportunity to speak on Peace FM.
Oh, no,
And
tell us about that, because how did the president mention? How did the president know about you before buying your shoe?
okay,
Which president was this?
so it was the former president John Mahama.
Okay.
One Monday, I was in a meeting, and a number kept calling me. So I stepped out to answer, and then they said that apparently they had sent me a mail on Friday. I had not responded. They were inviting me to a stakeholder meeting to meet the president. The president was meeting business owners across the spectrum, small, large, medium, across the spectrum, to have a conversation with them prior to the 2014 State of the Nation address. So I should come to Peduasi the next day.
Wow.
To be honest, I was scared, you know. So I went to Peduasi, a lot of security cars, and he didn't tell me we were meeting the president. He said we were meeting government officials. So we
Mm.
had breakfast, and then we were made to sit in a hall. 10 minutes later, the door swung open, and they came, the then president John Mahama and the vice, Mr. Atta. So I was really shocked and pleasantly surprised. So after the interaction, I told him I was presenting two constituencies, the young people and the shoemaking industry. So after my presentation to him, then I said jokingly, "But Mr. President, you have to wear horseman shoes." They said, "Yes, I have intentions of ordering." So after the meeting, he walked to me and told me his size. This was Tuesday. Then on Saturday, I had a call. The president wanted some shoes. Are they ready? I said, yes, they are ready. I will deliver on Sunday. So I
Hey.
delivered Sunday 10 p.m.
So when you went,
And
did you do the shoes to his size or you had them
yes,
before?
yeah, I did it to his side. In fact, I made a special shoe for him. The padding was like extra, you know. And for security reasons, I told only my head of production, and I told him not to mention to anyone that we are making shoes for the president. So on Monday evening around 10, I had a call from that same guy that I delivered the shoes to, that the president wants me to be in the chamber tomorrow, the next day, Tuesday, to deliver his State of the Nation address. Then my wife and kid were coming from America. So I told them that, oh, I'll be at the airport to meet my wife and kid. And said, young man, are you serious? Do you know the importance of this event? I said, sorry, I'm sorry, sir. I will come. So I went there on Tuesday, and lo and behold, he wore the shoe and gave me that endorsement. And that endorsement, I must say, has gone a long way to impact on the business and the brand. I had a guy coming from South Africa in 2019. They were looking for partners in Ghana. I wasn't in that meeting. I sent someone because I was ill. I was in Kumasi. So this guy met my partner, had a conversation, went to SA, and said no, he want to come back again to meet me personally because he feels he must meet me. And when he came, the conversation wasn't long. So I asked him why didn't he do a lot of due diligence? He said no. In reading about Horseman Shoes, he realized that a president has worn the shoe, so there is nothing due diligence to do again.
Wow.
So it put the brand up there, and we are very, very grateful to the former president.
Congratulations, congratulations,
Thank
congratulations.
you.
Unfortunately, I think Kofi, I hear he has a light out at his end, so he's not able to do the video. It's a shame. But don't worry, we'll play the video another time. Guys,
Sure.
this is Tony Sanaya, who is the founder and creator, business person, CEO of Horseman Leather, what works, Horseman Shoes, and so on. So please, um, let me hear from you. What are you learning? Put it in the chat. Let's know what you're learning from all these very amazing stories from Tony. And if you have any questions for Tony, please put it in the chat. I'll be happy to put that to him. Let's see if there is anybody. Okay, I'm seeing no questions yet. Patience is here, but she has no questions. Let's see. Gideon is here from Amsterdam. Oh no, that's not his name. I'm a Toji. Gideon. Okay, from Accra. Lakwe is here. Great to be here. Right. I have Kim Patron is here from Uti region. Willie Glay is here. Ebenezer Tufo is here from Abuja. All right. So those of you who are not in Ghana, all of you come and buy shoes and go and set up shops in the countries, and let's spread the news and let's take over the market. All right. Let me bring Sarah. I have a few more questions, but let me bring Sarah to see if she has some questions for you and what she's learning. All right, Sarah.
Hello, Tony. Thank you so much for your story. I know just before we went live, you did tell us a little bit about why the name Horseman. So I think it would be great to share that with our viewers so they can see where the vision came from and how it ties in with what you are doing. So if you could share that with us. And also, that's question number one. And then question number two, with your great leadership journey that you had at university, how are you putting that to work in what you're doing right now? Some of the experiences, how is that being imparted to the people that you're working with?
Okay, thank you very much, Sarah. Why Horseman Shoes? When the idea came to find a brand name, a lot of ideas came. My name, Tony Senaya, and then I remember I told a friend who gave me that idea that look, when you hear Gucci and Tony Senaya, I mean they are oceans apart. I don't want that name. So one late morning, I was listening to Sunny FM, and then the preacher was Eastwood Anaba. He was preaching from Jeremiah 12:5. If you contend with the foot of men and you get tired, how can you contend with horses? He was asking today's prophets that if they how they are marching up to the prophets of old, the Ezekiels, the Isaiahs, the Jeremiahs. So it also dawned on me that okay, if those guys are the horsemen, the Isaiahs are the horsemen. If you ask a young guy today who they want to become, they will mention people who have achieved in society, and those guys are the horsemen. And how would they become like them? They have to have stamina. They have to have a lot of determination. They have to run and complete their race like the horse. So to attain that height, they need a horseman shoes for the race of life. So that is how I name my company Horseman. And then horses are also for battle. So yes, life is one big battle. So you need a horseman shoes to, you know, to face the battle of life.
I
Yes.
thought the shoes are just made for horses, no?
No, no, it's just an inspiration, you
It's
know.
for
Uh,
horses and men. All right. Sarah, you
and
had
then
another. Mhm.
yes,
Yes,
the second
I did.
question,
Yes.
how I have the lessons that I drew from school in my student leadership days. It is the ability to communicate clearly with the people that I work with, you know, and I also learned that communication is not only what you are saying, but making sure that the person understands you, and you know, like what the politicians do, they really go down to mingle with the people when they want their votes. But for me, I understood how to live with everyone because I had to deal with students, I had to deal with porters, I had to deal with the hall workers, you know, the guys who were cleaning our bathrooms. Um, I remember when I was in my second year, one of our hall leaders had a terrible argument with the hall cleaners, and one elderly man said something that me, I will say my uncle's school, like you think that because I have not had the opportunity to be in school, but I have a son who is like you. So for me, the lesson was that the man felt that the executive was being disrespectful. So I learned how to deal with them without offending them. You know, even if they don't do their work, I develop the relationship such that I can tell them in a nice way and nobody will get offended. So that is how I deal with my workers. Except for Thomas. Thomas was giving me a lot of hell when I started, but but all in all, it's been very great experience working through from the University of Ghana and entering into the work world. And one other thing that also benefited me from my student leaders days is I built a lot of network. So my contemporaries, my mates, some are very influential in the media and in some other agencies. So it's just a phone call that I need this, I need this. Around 2013, 2014, I had a lot of media attention because people were fascinated about my story. And these were my friends that I knew from school. But at a point, I realized that if I don't cut down the hype, I may not be able to build a successful business. And that is one thing that I also tell young people that when you start, make sure you develop roots before you start making noise. Nowadays, we like a lot of noise, you know, and we call it packaging. People package themselves nicely, but meanwhile, they don't have any substance. So to my last award that I received was 2015. I said I will not take any awards again because the awards doesn't pay the bills, you know. Before before 2015, anytime I did a radio interview, my demand went up, but I couldn't meet the demand on time. So one day, one guy posted on Facebook, "We see you more than we see your shoes," and I thought that, wow,
That
this
was
is
profound.
yes, it was very very profound. So I decided to take a backstage and go and work in my business, not to become a celebrity entrepreneur. I don't have any roots.
Wow.
Wonderful, great. Yeah, my last question before I give the floor to Sam to for the other people to pose their questions. I'm just looking at your business model, and you did say that you were working with independent craftsmen. So it looks a bit to me like the Benetton business model. I don't know whether you know the business model for Benetton. They don't have a factory. They do have independent
Okay.
craftsmen also, and they produce their different and creativities, and then they source that and sell it in their shops. So is this the model that you are using? Because you said you're working with different craftsmen. Is it the same model framework?
He has a factory.
No, not exactly. I have a factory, but
Okay.
when my demand was growing, we couldn't meet it. We couldn't meet so yeah, we couldn't meet the demand on time. Supply was short, and for a very long time, I was very reluctant getting an independent person because of the quality control. I was hoping to bring them into my workshop, but these for the level of skill that they have, they didn't want to come because for them they are also masters. They are also master craftsmen, and for them their pride is sitting in their corner, having two or three people under them and calling them master. So it was, I just started this model last year that, okay, then let me outsource designs, some of the designs to them. So what
Mm-hmm.
I do is I will place about 4 or 5 sample orders. I will bring my existing designs to you to see my standard. Then when you meet it, then I buy in bulk from you. But I have a workshop that I try to bring people. When you work for me for a very long time, then I convince you that why don't you come and join the team so that we all build something beautiful together. But those who are very adamant but they are very skillful, I give them some contrast on the side.
Excellent.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much. Thank you, Sarah, for those beautiful questions. And Tony, there are a few questions coming up here. Gerard Foucault is asking, a lot of entrepreneurs or business owners complain about getting reliable staff or not getting reliable staff. Have you had some bad nuts in your team? And how have you dealt with such people? Okay, we know of Thomas.
And yes, Gerald, one of the biggest challenge of us in the vocation or in the like production sector is even getting quality human resource. So it is not only shoemaking. Tailors are complaining, mechanics are complaining. They don't have quality people. The one people they don't want to learn. When they come, they have bad and poor working attitude. But unfortunately, we cannot stop. We just have to keep on trying. At least you get some good ones to work with. And then I also had a lady, a shop attendant, who within 3 months I conducted an audit and realized that he has stolen almost 10,000 CDs from me. So for that lady, I reported her to the police. The police arrested her, and then the family agreed on a payment plan. The next month, Corona struck, and then that Juma say they don't have work to do and all that. So I let it go. So yes, Gerald, it's a try and error thing here. Sometimes you pray that you find the quality people, and yes, of late some quality people have been coming my way, but it's a very difficult, it's a very 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 difficult thing building a trust and a quality team to work with.
Okay, so this keeping of dollars in the house, it didn't start now. Having plenty dollars in your house and all right, thank you so much for that. Lakwe is asking, I just had someone testify to the quality of Horseman shoes to me. I'm getting my first pairs soon. Now, do you
Awesome.
make shoes for ladies too?
Yes, we do. We call them she brooks. We do.
You call them what?
She brooks. She
She
brooks.
Brooks. Hey, Charlie,
Yeah.
bro, for you. So Lakwe is getting her first shoes, so he's going to get. Let's see what Akosia Cheneboado says. It's nice to know that he capitalized on a strategic opportunity. I would like to know if he took any further education after his university degree and in what field. I think, yeah, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I have rather done a lot of management courses and
Mm-hmm.
short courses. The recent one, like a serious school, was Hetty School of Berlin. So it was management and law for entrepreneurs. So
Mm-hmm.
I have done project management. I have done Google certification, digital marketing. I have
Mm-hmm.
done courses in financial modeling and all that. Yes,
All right. So courses that support the business, very
yes.
important. All right. Let's see. I'm seeing Charles Mauli is here. Let's see what Charles is saying. Okay, no. Did I jump? All right. Right. So I have Samuel Sifamafu. What's the most important lesson you've learned in business, and at what point did you learn it?
The most important. I would have a few. One is I mentioned before, have genuine love and concern for the people you work with, because look, without them you don't even have a business. So I learned this midway, you
Mhm,
know, because for some of them it's not only the money they are making from you, it's the bonding and the relationship they form at the
mhm,
workplace that will make them come back the next day. And build up the people that you work with,
mhm,
build them up if you can, because again you cannot do it alone. And be very truthful. The
mm,
people that the stakeholders and the partners that you deal with, be very open to them. If it's about money and business hasn't gone well, be very truthful to them, because you will need them. And for me, once you tell one lie, you have to have a very sharp memory to be telling a lot of lies. So integrity, or the broader scale is have values, and
mhm,
values are not fanciful words that you tell people that I have it. Let them know. One is being punctual. For me, punctuality is very, very key to me. If I give you an appointment at 11 and you come at 11:15, 11:20 without a word, I take offense to it. So those little things, as young people, even in our daily lives, we should make it a habit to be a part of us. It makes life very simple for you and whoever that you are dealing with. So love people, build people up, and also be truthful in your dealings. Be very open to the people that you deal with.
wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. All right. A few more comments. Lakwe says, I find the lesson from this very practical submission very insightful. Seeing as networking is very crucial in successful marketing. How do introverts like me, who know few people, break through? All right. So you are a very extroverted guy. Balakwe is very introverted. How does she break through this networking thing?
Oh, like we being networking doesn't necessarily need you to be extrovert. Just show up, shake a few hands, take a few contacts, make follow-ups, events that concern your area. I know now people even attend funerals. They look at the funeral and say, "Ah, I have been looking for Mr. Yim, but because it's Sarah's funeral, Mr. Yim will be there." So they will attend the funeral just to meet Mr. Yim, shake hands, and discuss one or two things, and they will leave. So it's being deliberate about it. And if you have a genuine heart, you attract people. If you have a very genuine heart, attract the right kind of people. So you don't necessarily have to be an extrovert. Just show up at events wherever you want to meet the people and be nice, have nice conversations, and keep tabs on them.
Great, great, great. Yes, you don't have to be extroverted. In fact, so there are some introverts who have a bigger network
I tell
of
you,
contacts than the extroverts, because they're very deliberate, diligent, they can follow through. And
that's the word, deliberate.
exactly. So, luckily, thank you for that question. And thank you, Tony, for the answer. Gideon Kaji says, great lessons from my old friend Tony. And I do resonate with most of his shared lessons because we share a similar story. Take root. All right. Take root before you make noise. It's my personal mantra, and happy to hear same from. Yeah, that's very important. I remember when uh, I work for EcoBank, and our CEO at one point when we were trying to rebuild the brand after 10 years when it was down, and this new CEO came, and people were saying, "Oh, we should go to CNN, BBC. You see all these banks are on," and he says, "My friends, you don't blow the whistle when there's no game. Let's get the game going. Then we blow
Yeah,
the whistle." So I like this. If you don't have roots and you go and make noise, and now the others are coming and you can't meet them, then there's a credibility issue there.
issue,
So
yes.
I think I love that. I love that. Okay, so I'm not seeing any more questions, but I have plenty of them. And since Kofi has abandoned us, and we are not able to show our videos, this light is off. Let me just ask a few questions. We have a few more minutes here. So we are here, 2023, 10 years, 2033. Where do we see Horseman Shoes? What are the
20,
plans?
2033, I hope that by that time we would have had an ultra modern assembling line. So if we have an assembling line in terms of the factory, then it means that we are producing mass. So I want to see Horseman dotted across the cities of Africa. Um, it excites me if I travel the cities of the US and I see, say, Louis Vuitton, on a very
Mhm,
busy street in New York,
mhm,
in California. I see it in my mind's eye that you go to Lagos, you see Horseman there. You go to Abidjan, Nairobi, um, Cape Town, Joburg. So I want Horseman to be dotted around the African cities, telling the Ghanaian story that we make quality brands in Ghana. And secondly, my vision is actually to be the largest leather product manufacturer in terms of brand preference and employment. So I am hoping to employ in the regions of hundreds and thousands by the next 10 years, because it will give me a great joy to 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 see young people not opting for shoemaking because they couldn't make the grades in school. And they say,
mm,
well, in Tradia, no, I
mm.
want to create that fulfilling employment avenue for any young person who want to express themselves through the art of shoemaking. So yes, that is my vision in the next 10 years. And of course, I have a lot of money to support Mr. Yim's ministry.
Thank you so much. We will take the small one now, and then the big one later. All right, but I'm so thrilled. Now there are a lot of small businesses beginning, struggling. We talk about the environment. What do you think, as a nation, we should be doing for some of these small businesses, like the way you started, the struggling you went through? But how can we do to support people who are doing quality things, honest people, to be able to support their businesses as a nation?
Well, thank you for this question. When the finance minister, Ken, in his first budget reading, he mentioned that they are setting up business support systems, business support offices, one-stop business support offices. And indeed, I even went on radio to applaud it because I realized that young businesses, aside money, need a lot of help in terms of putting their plans together, even registering their tax, their SNET, and a lot of advisory services. Most dreams die not because the people are lazy or they are visionless, it's because they can't find help. So for me, if the state would have, I hear the NBSSI now, Ghana Employment Agency does that, but how many businesses know? For me, it took me a long while to know that they even render those services. So I think that we should come down and support. The real support for young businesses is holding their hands and walking them through that complex start. Another issue is the rent issue, Mr. Yim. People tell you we work from home, we work from my car boot. My office is in my Potomanto. It's not because they want their office to be in their Potomanto. Landlords are taking 2 years, 3 years advance for a small office space at a ridiculous amount. Me, how much is my starting capital to go and rent an office space? So if we can actually implement or enforce that rent control act that we landlords are not supposed to take more than 6 months, government should have shared or incubator spaces for small startups, and also there are a lot of government intervention programs. Okay, but for me they are very very fragmented. It is not concerted. Everybody is doing bits and pieces here, and even that, look, the monies do not go to the real business people. They just want to give the money and have a tall list of beneficiaries. Oh, we have supported 15,000 people or 15,000 businesses. That is not what will make us move forward. When the NDC brought the Yes Fund, 10 million, I met the sector minister and I told Honorable, this 10 million is not much. If you can support 10, 15 businesses, 500,000, 1 million, give it to them and create champions rather than share it 2,000, 3,000 without making any impact. So I have been on this advocacy for a very long time. So we must be deliberate, put together all the interventions, government support interventions, and let's have a roadmap that yes, we want to get here in agri. If you want to do agri, go to this office, and this is my target for the said agency. Let's achieve this. If you want to do manufacturing, go to this office. Now we have Ghana Enterprise Agency doing something for young businesses. They have National Youth Employment doing something for young businesses, and they have doing something for young businesses. So it is crisscrossing. If we are not deliberate, we are fetching water with the basket. So for me, we must be deliberate. And what the finance minister said, that they will create a business advisory unit support system for young businesses, they must. So that when I have an idea, I will go. Even there should be lawyers there, there should be accountants there, there should be HR practitioners there, so that it should be a one-shop clinic for young businesses.
Wow. I totally agree. We need a lot of support. All right. So I think I don't see any more questions, and our time is running very fast. So okay. So Patience says, "Wow, real and simple to follow tips." All right. So at this point, I just want to thank you so much for the great work of sharing that you've done, and to give you the last word to give us your final thoughts, takeaway thoughts that you will want to leave us with, and as we bring our discussion to a close.
All right, my closing remarks will be very simple. Don't be afraid to fail. A lot of people have ideas, but their they are scared of failing. And if you fail, and so what? I read a business book that the man said that when you start a business, you should even pray that you fail early, because at all costs you fail. That is the beauty of starting small. You start small, you fail, you learn your lessons, you move on. And there's this saying that when you're growing up, we used to hear the Lord that winners never quit. No, in business, sometimes winners quit. That is when you hit a snag. You realize that, in fact, come back, change gears, and change direction. So with your failings, when you start a new venture, you do you learn from your previous business or your previous feelings and do things better. So if you are sticking to something and it's not working, I beg you, it's okay. It's okay to say, okay, me, let me take a break. Let me come back again. Let me go and seek help. Why it didn't work out? Who can help me move forward? It's okay. And that notion that people will say, we told you that, no, 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 please. There's no shame. There's no shame at all in realizing that what I'm doing is not working. Let me try something else. So do not be afraid to fail. And if you have the idea, don't think of you fail. Go and do it and fail and know that, okay, at least I tried and I failed. It's far better than not doing it and saying, had I known, how can we try? So please, whatever the idea that you have, at least try it. When you fail, you know that you tried and failed.
Good. When you fail, you know that you tried and failed. And on that note, I want to thank you so much, Tony, for this inspiring story of entrepreneurship, starting from near zero to this point with a vision to capture all the cities in Africa. And by the time that I am 70 and 80 and crisscrossing all these cities to go and share leadership thoughts, I'll be seeing Horseman Shoes in all these cities.
Amen.
And
Amen.
all the people who will be coming for those conferences will be wearing Horseman Shoes. So thank you so much. You are an inspiration to a lot of young people, not only young people, but a lot of African businesses. And this is what we can do. We can achieve something. Let us start small, as is said, and let us be honest. Let's show integrity in what we do. And with that, and delivering quality, we'll be able to grow our businesses. Tony, thank you so very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Imen team, for having me. And thank to all our listeners across the world. And thank you for your contribution and your words of encouragement. I'm honored.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so much. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of our session today. We want to encourage you. We finished the growth journey. 6 cohorts is finished, 7th is continuing, but we're starting the 8th cohort in 2 weeks' time. So if you are interested in joining the growth journey, please contact us and let us register you. Also, Live to Lead is coming on 6th of October. Get ready, get your ticket. The price is not changed in dollars, it's $79. So for online, and we are planning an in-person session also. So we started communicating the details of Live to Lead, the annual leadership conference is coming up. This is a place where leaders gather annually to learn new ideas on leadership. So it's coming up 6th of October, the annual leadership conference. Live to Lead is on. Get your tickets and let's meet. On that note, I want to thank all of you for being with us and listening to Tony and keeping faith with that. Until next Saturday, when we come your way again with another leader to share their story and their lessons, I say good night. God bless you. Stay blessed. Go to church tomorrow to give glory to God. Good night.